The Hydra, the many-headed doom. In the marshes of Lerna, where the air hung heavy with rot and the mist curled like ghostly fingers, there slumbered a nightmare birthed from the old world. A creature so ancient that even the Titans spoke of it in wary tones. The Lernaean Hydra. It was not a beast formed by nature or the whim of gods. It was a remnant of primordial chaos, a fragment of darkness that had survived the dawn of creation. Some whispered it was the offspring of Typhon and Echidna. Others swore it had crawled from the void before Zeus's first thunderbolt tore through the sky. What all agreed upon was simple. Where the Hydra lived, death ruled. Its many heads slept coiled together like a nest of serpents, each one breathing venom potent enough to kill a giant. The creature's scales were armored in obsidian. Its blood was acid. And worst of all, when a head was severed, two more would rise. The Hydra existed to devour, to spread terror, to remind the world that even gods could not master every shadow. For years, villages avoided Lerna. Animals fled. Travelers vanished. The marshes belonged to the beast, and the beast alone. Until the day a man approached the wetlands with a torch in one hand and a sword in the other. Heracles. This was his second labor, a task issued not to test him, but to kill him. Hera had whispered in Eurystheus' ear, guiding the king to unleash him upon the Hydra. The queen of the gods despised Heracles, for his birth was Zeus's insult to her pride. And so Hera armed the Hydra with power enough to end him. Heracles stepped into the marsh, the water swallowing his ankles. A foul stench hung in the air. Even the wind dared not stir. Beside him walked Aeolus, loyal nephew, barred from intervening, yet refusing to abandon him. Heracles raised his torch and called out, "Hydra, spawn of darkness, face me!" The marsh quivered. Ripples spread across the water. And then it emerged. Heads rose from the swamp one by one, 9 serpents lifting on long, sinuous necks. Their eyes glowed like lanterns in a tomb. Their tongues hissed, tasting the air, tasting him. The central head, larger than the rest, crowned with jagged horns, opened its jaws, revealing a cavern of fangs dripping with poison. Heracles felt the skin on his arms prickle. Aeolus took an uncertain step back. The Hydra struck first. 9 heads lunged in a storm of scales and teeth. Heracles swung his sword, severing one cleanly, only to watch in horror as 2 new heads burst forth from the stump, shrieking like newborn demons. The Hydra roared, its new heads thrashing wildly. Heracles gritted his teeth. So, that's how it is. The beast attacked again. Heracles ducked beneath one snapping jaw, blocked another with his forearm bracer, and drove his blade through a third. But for every head he cut, more replaced it. The marsh became a frenzy of violence, water churning, poison sizzling through reeds, the Hydra's screeches echoing across the land. Heracles' arms ached. Sweat stung his eyes. The creature seemed endless, infinite. Then Aeolus shouted, "Burn the necks! Stop them from growing!" Heracles froze for a heartbeat, then nodded sharply. He severed another head, and before it could regenerate, Aeolus rushed forward with a burning torch, pressing flame to raw flesh. The stump sizzled and blackened, sealing shut. The Hydra recoiled, shrieking. Hope flickered. Heracles attacked with renewed fury, slicing through neck after neck. Aeolus followed each strike with fire, stopping regeneration at its root. Gradually, the monstrous choir of heads diminished, the air filling with smoke and the stench of scorched scales. But the Hydra was not defeated. Hera, watching from Olympus, snarled. With a flick of her wrist, she summoned a monstrous crab the size of a boar. It scuttled out of the marsh, pincers snapping, aiming for Heracles' heel. The hero stumbled. The Hydra surged forward, its great central head striking like a spear. Heracles roared and smashed the crab under his heel with a single crushing stomp. Then, Seizing his moment, he sprang upon the Hydra's back, driving his sword deep into the creature's heart. The central head reared back, screaming with a sound that cracked the earth. Iolaus thrust his torch into the final gaping wound. The Hydra's thrashing slowed. Its heads sagged. Its venomous blood seeped into the waters, turning them black. And then, silence. Heracles knelt among the withering heads, chest heaving. Iolaus placed a steadying hand on his shoulder. They had done the impossible. They had slain the beast Hera swore would kill him. But this victory came with a cost. The Hydra's blood, even in death, was lethal. Heracles dipped his arrows into it, sealing his fate for years to come. For those arrows would one day bring sorrow even he could not escape. The marsh grew quiet again, but Lerna would never forget the terror that had dwelled there. And though the Hydra lay still, its legend, like its heads, multiplied.